I, Dr. Rita Pratap, Associate Professor, Department of Drawing and Painting, University of Rajasthan, Jaipur. I am going to speak on Golconda and Hyderabad. Golconda, a variety of artistic traditions, indigenous, Indian, Persian, Mughal, Turkish and European, contributed to the evolution of painting style at Golconda. From 1512 to 1580, Iranian traditions at Golconda were visible. Muhammad Sultan Quli, who ruled from 1512 to 1543 AD, was the great grandson of Iskandar and elder brother of Jahan Shah, the Black Sheep Turkman prince who became ruler of Baghdad. He founded the Qutub Shahi dynasty, which ruled from Golconda and later nearby Hyderabad until the Mughal conquest of 1687. To the reign of Sultan Quli, no figural paintings have come to light except a sumptuous illuminated Quran in 2 volumes in the collection of Salarjung Museum, Hyderabad, dated to 1536-37, which may have been produced for him. Ibrahim Qutub Shah, who ruled from 1550 to 1580, is said to be the first Golconda patron of miniature painting. In the Victoria and Albert Museum collection is the rich and dark colored illustrated manuscript Anwar A. Suhali of 1550 or 1560, which bears no colophon but Qutub Shahi seals are there. The painting frequently depicts palaces with interesting arcades with numerous doors, windows and balconies with tiny figures peeping out. Illustrated about the same period is the Sindabad Nama in the Indian Office Library, London. It also has the similar exuberance of rich colors and numerous depictions of architecture in Deccani style. It is said that the Royal Golconda Atelier had attracted artists from all over India and the Islamic world, not only in the formative stages of the school but right up to the Mughal conquest in 1687. The artists here worked in Deccani variants with their original idioms patronized by Qutub Shahis. Golconda retained a heterogeneous style, preserving Ottoman, Safavid, Mughal and Bijapuri modes. Muhammad Quli Qutub Shah, who ruled from 1580 to 1612, also gave patronage to arts, but very few paintings of his reign survived. But those survived are very refined and beautiful. A lavishly illustrated copy of Sultan's own Urdu poetry, the Kuliyat, is found in the Salarjung Museum, Hyderabad. It was painted by Indian artist known as Hyderabadi painter. These illustrations also resemble the work of Bukhara artist named Muhammad Murad Samarkandi, who may have received training from the same artist as the Golconda painter. Quli Qutub Shah was also known as connoisseur of architecture. In the honor of wife Bhagmati, a new capital was built in 1591, which was named as Hyderabad. Muhammad Quli's atelier was a cosmopolitan place where Persian, Central Asian, Mughal and Deccani artists worked side by side. One signed Golconda painting in existence is of Prince and an ascetic, on which finely Arabic inscription is written in a niche inside the door, giving the painter's name Sawa Rahu Jan Quli, painted by Jan Quli. By the mid 17th century, the Golconda school, besides the Mughal influence, reached its creative heights. Next came Sultan Abdullah Qutub Shah of Golconda, who ruled from 1626 to 1672. As Muhammad Qutub Shah's son Abdullah ascended to the throne in 1626, had to face the changing political situation. Few paintings of Sultan Abdullah Qutub Shah can be seen in various museums. The painting Darbar of Sultan Abdul Qutub Shah as a youth of 1630 is in the collection of British Museum, London. Here, the artist has placed the figure of Sultan not in the center of the picture space but above it, a traditional Indian practice. Another painting of Sultan Abdul Qutub Shah sitting on a terrace dated 1640 is in the Ashmolean Museum, Oxford, is one of the most poetic Golconda pictures in Mughal manner. Here Sultan is represented as a young man. Two other portraits of Sultan Abdul Qutub Shah standing are found in Victoria and Albert Museum, and other in Heronfield collection are of little later date, that is mid 17th century. But basically the minor image of each other, except some difference in weapons carried, the placing of the hands and the design executed in the costumes. The other painting executed beautifully in 1640 is the procession of Sultan Abdullah Qutub Shah riding an elephant with courtiers and musicians. It is in the collection of Leningrad. Here the artist has painted all details with central pavilion in complete gold, studded in Golconda fashion with white, green and red jewels. Sultan Abul Hasan, who ruled from 1672 to 1687 AD. Abul Hasan, the Arab emigre, was the husband of Abdullah's youngest daughter. He was the follower of famous saint Shah Raju. He encouraged and patronized Arabic literature, Urdu and Telugu. Abdul Hasan was nicknamed as Tana Shah, or the king of taste. The last Sultan of Golconda was a great artistic patron. Some paintings of his period survive. The portraits of the king and his courtiers can be attributed to his reign. The portrait of Sultan Abul Hasan walking in a garden dated to 1672 to 1680 in the Edwin Benny collection, San Diego, shows the king standing and smelling a flower. He is wearing a jama and a shawl made entirely of gold. The sky is golden with pink and blue clouds. The fur wrap and pointed collar show the Central Asian fashion which were worn by the Turks of the Qutub Shahi dynasty. Abul Hasan's friend Saint Akbar Shah, Kali Mullah Hussain and Shah Raju's son standing portrait is dated to 1670 and 1680 in the C.L. David collection, Coffin Gun. The Arabic inscription at the top of the painting gives the saint's full name. He is shown wearing the king's dress. Rahim Khan artist painted two pictures, one of Saint Shah Raju smoking a hookah and Saint Akbar Shah Hussaini, son of Shah Raju, reading a book of prayers dated to 1670 to 1680. Here both of them are shown seated against a magnificently embroidered gold pillows and carpet underneath. Artist Rasool Khan painted the picture of Saint Shah Raju on horseback dated to 1670 to 1680 in the traditional Golconda taste. It was during the second half of 17th century some Deccani painters came under the influence of Safavid painters Shakh Abbasi and his sons Ali Naqi and Muhammad Naqi. Local artists absorbed their convention and developed a hybrid style. and later carried it with them to Rajasthani courts after Golconda's fall. To conclude, the Golconda artist preferred showy, extrovert pictures with dramatic colors and flamboyant visual effects. Golconda has been an independent state since 1512, and by the end of 16th century it was the wealthiest of the Deccan. Like Bijapur, Golconda continued to be independent of Mughals, though paying tribute until 1686 AD. A few paintings of Golconda has to be studied. Plate 1 depicts Rag Vasanta, dated to 1670 and now in the collection of National Museum, New Delhi. Here the influences of Safavid, Mughal and Bijapuri traditions operated simultaneously and went into the making of the Golconda idiom. This visual composition is a representation of the poetic metaphor abundant in contemporary Deccan literature. In another painting, woman is raising her hands towards the sun. It belongs to Deccan Golconda, dated to 1650 to 1660, now in the collection of Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. Surrounded by a border of flamboyant flowering plants, this mid-17th century picture is typical of the opulent paintings favoured by Golconda patrons. It depicts a stately woman with a doll-like Persian face and curled locks standing beside a chair in a verdant landscape. She raises her hands towards the golden sun that shines in the upper right corner, though the clouds inspired by Persian painting. Her layered garments include a long-sleeved pink dress with lace cuffs and a short-sleeved gold-rimmed orange jerkin. The jerkin is tied at the waist with a long medallion decorated blue cord that ends in a tassel. A yellow sash patka falls from beneath her jerkin. An orange-red scarf draped over her right shoulder crosses her chest and is wrapped around her left arm. This is Persian and European inspired painting which was modified to please the Golconda patrons. 2 pages from an album. The first page is of a portrait of a Deccani prince belonging to Golconda School, 1670 to 1725, opaque watercolor and ink on paper, and in the collection of Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. This portrait depicts an unidentified prince standing in a field of flowers against a light green ground. The man wears a white turban, white jama, orange and yellow striped pajama and gold brocade flower sash. The long sword in his right hand and a double-handled push dagger tucked into his sash. In another plate of the same page is an old woman singing, belonging to Golconda, dated to 1660 to 1670. It is opaque watercolor and ink on paper and at present in the collection of Virginia Museum of Fine Arts. The painting depicts bespectacled old woman in profile against a dark ground, singing from a sheet of paper which she holds in both hands. She wears a reddish-orange long-sleeved shirt with a white rough collar and an olive green garment edged with magenta fur. Her head is covered with a yellow cap and wrapped in a blue cloth. The flamboyant palette, dominated by orange, blue, green, magenta and black, recalls in particular Golconda. Another painting is a portrait of Abul Hasan Qutb Shah of Golconda as a young man. This is dated to 1660. The scene shows Abdul Hasan Qutub Shah, painted in Golconda in 1660, improves upon Ahmednagar portrait of Burhan Nizam Shah with delicacy and charm. The composition is stereotype, borrowed from the Mughal manner of early Shahjahan period. The exotic European dress as well as furniture and shading of figures coming into Deccan through Portuguese Goa was assimilated into the miniatures. The individualization of the portrait notably took shape directly under the influence of the Mughal portrait. The three-fourth face, the trees, the plants, mountains were retained from the Indo-Persian manner but Deccanized. Another painting is the Todi Ragini of late 17th century in the Freer Gallery of Art, Washington, D.C. In this painting retains the foliage of the Vijayanagar period as well as Hindu costume, but betrays some Mughal in the drawing and in softer colors. Another plate shows portrait of a prince belonging to Golconda, dated to 1680 and in the collection of Victoria and Albert Museum, London. This miniature is of a Muslim king of the state of Bijapur sitting on a rock at the foot of a lightly leaved willow. The rock is treated in a Persian style, as is also the ground dotted with clumps of small flowers. In his right hand he is holding a red flower, the color of which stands out against his white dress. With his left hand he is leaning on his circular shield, over which one can see the hilt of his blue scabbarded sword. Hyderabad. Nizam al-Mulk Asaf Jo I ruled from 1724 to 1748, an able administrator dissatisfied with the onset of political anarchy in Mughal Empire, founded the Asafiya dynasty with its new capital Hyderabad in 1724. Miniature painting, which was gradually developing in the 18th and 19th century, became increasingly repetitive and started moving within a set range of chicks. The Nizams were not only nobles of the court but also undoubtedly the foremost patrons of art. Both Hindus and Muslims were equally keen. Curiously, the art of portraiture took a different track, becoming wooden and at times comical. Numerous sets of ragmalas were produced for unknown bibliophiles and lovers of music display a high degree of perfection. The liberally elongated slender female forms invariably constituted the central figures of the composition, personifying the ragini, the melody. A landscape effect is achieved by the grouping of accentuated trees amidst oblong and bulky rock clusters rising unhindered above the jazzed shore of a lake in the foreground. It is found framed with softly modelled clouds. The effect of cool moonlit nights often lends a special charm to the visualization of a certain melodic mode. Some paintings belonging to Deccan Hyderabad school has to be studied. Scene of a battle, dated to 1750 to 1760, opaque watercolor on paper and at present in the collection of Virginia Museum of Art. This finely painted scene of combat between one soldier on a changing elephant and another on a rearing horse recalls painting of Apache derms done in Bijapur around 1600 to 1610. But few would mistake this work for a lush early 17th century Bijapur painting. In fact, its stylistic features suggest that it was painted in mid-18th century Hyderabad. For example, its figure types, facial features and rock formations are comparable to those found in a number of Hyderabad Ragmala pages. Particularly striking is the stylized depiction of the wind-blown lower edge of the elephant's saddle cloth. This distinctive convention is also used to depict canopies in other mid-18th century Hyderabad paintings now in the India Office Library. That is, Lovesick Lady and several Ragmala leaves, Patmanjari, Vibhasha, Shankarabaran from the Johnson album number 37. Another Hyderabadi feature of the painting is the celestial orb, sun or moon, suspended in the misty white grey sky. Though occasionally used in other schools of Indian painting, Jaipur, Bundi, etc., this convention is most fully exploited by the artists of 18th century Hyderabad. Many Hyderabad pictures show the sun or the moon prominently positioned in the heavens. Another painting belonging to Hyderabad is of Ragini Kakumb, dated to 1775. A description of Kakubha in the Sanskrit Ragmala text by poet Kashyapa is as follows. In a yellow robe with beauteous hair, weeping in the wood and unhappy when the cuckoo recalls Kakubha much frightened looks about her. Another painting is from an album, Yogini playing a veena, belonging to Hyderabad. This is an opaque watercolor on paper and belongs to Virginia Museum collection. It shows the stylish Yogini.